Okay, I want us to kickstart our next meta skill, which is the creating meta skill. I want us to look at the essence again because it is important that we understand what are we trying to achieve. And you will find this on page 36 of your modular learner guide. So, going into it, creating meta skill, and the essence of creating meta skill is about creating and being creative and resourceful in innovative ways to create more value, solve problems, and create frameworks that empower not only you but also others. So the essence is more about creating. I think the name speaks for itself. We are creating here, we are finding innovative ways in order to do something, in order to create more value for what we are currently seeing. So, what does good look like when we are creating and using this meta skill? So, when we are seeing creating and we are saying yes, we are experiencing it, the following should happen. The team is creative and resourceful in solving problems. So, time for reflection. Is your team really a team that only brings issues? Or are they a team that say, I saw a problem and I think the possible solution to this may be that? Time for reflection. Team is enthusiastic, always positive. Guys, because we are humans and it is human nature that sometimes we bring a bit of negativity, but enthusiasm about performance, enthusiasm about what is it that we're trying to achieve. We must have that. Team operates within a well understood framework and has a common language that allows for collaborating to happen effectively. So, there must be room for debate, room for challenging, I'd say, the status quo. There must be room for that so that we are, we within the boundaries of what we know we should achieve and what our framework is, but be able to just, couldn't we try that? Shouldn't we try this? I've seen this, challenging the status quo to see how things would turn out because we are trying innovative thinking. And remember, with innovative thinking, there is always risk. And with risk comes then, the uncertainty, we don't know how it will sit. But because it's a different way of looking at a certain thing, it might spark new ideas. It might spark new ways of doing things. And who knows what the result could be? Isn't that so? So, also, you'll see a lot of engagement around problem solving. So, people sit around and say, I'm not letting the go of this until we've solved it. That type of mentality. Um, almost as if the team relishes the opportunity to take on a new challenge. So I'm not letting you go until you have been resolved. I am taking learnings, but I'm going to apply it so that I see what different results can it give. Also, action is always well thought out before its execution. So although we love to take risks, but calculate them. Understand what your parameters are because we are working around a certain framework. So there are boundaries. So action is always well thought in bold. You need to think about it. You need to question yourself. You need to debate at times with your mind in order to see how can you do things differently. But that's creating. So, are you ready to put that creating meta skill into practice? This is quite an interesting one, and I'm sure it will interest you guys too. So let's get into 4 groups. I think we can do 3 groups. Yes, 3 groups, and there are rules to this game. So this is what I'm going to provide you. I'm going to provide you with nails, and I'm going to provide you with a wooden stand, and you will notice that it's quite an obstacle, and you really need to think about the how, because you shouldn't have any glue, you shouldn't have any other support. It is solely what I'm going to give to you that actually you need to make it work. Um, all the tools are provided by myself. You need to make it work. And for this one, we won't do, I'll give you a good 30 minutes. And in this 30 minutes, let's see what the bright minds can do. Let's see what the new minds can do in this room, as well as the, both generations, because I love the variety of generations that we have in here. XYZ. And I want you to come together and make it work in these groups. So one sits at that corner, one sits at that table there at the end, and you guys can sit here. So let's take it away. So I'm just from group 2. 1, I want you to just, because I'm looking at the level of noise and how things are falling apart, but what's happening to your creative thinking process as these things fall over and you retry again? For your group, because you guys are now standing looking at me, it's as if you've run out of ideas. But tell me, what happens now that you are at this point? We've been in this session for 30 minutes, and now it's going for 32. What happens as you think, as you're sitting there having run out of ideas? What's crossing your mind? Share. And for these guys here, how equal was your contribution? Because you were mostly a mixture of the, as I said earlier, the 3 generations. How equal was your team contribution in doing this exercise? And group leader, for the one closer to me, how are they communicating around generating new ideas? What's your observation? And through that, are you seeing anyone getting maybe perhaps, clinged or having a particular way or method of doing it? I'll give you 5 minutes before we unravel the story. I'll give you 5 minutes to wrap up. Looking at how we've solved it, looking at how it should stand and what you guys had on the tables around, maybe let's reflect. What did you notice happening to your creative thinking? And I'll direct it to the group at the end. The group leader, please, what happened during that time? What happened? Take us through the feeling or the mood around the table. And for anyone, what happened when you felt like you have run out of ideas? Yes, interesting. And you? Yes, yes. I think I felt like that when I first did the exercise. I was like, what? You know? Um, so how did you communicate around new ideas, around trying new things? Do you think it was doable to try new ways of actually rebuilding those nails? And who thought they knew and struggled to let go? Maybe with a show of hands across the room. Ah, interesting, the number of hands. Yeah. And now I want us to go back to that white flip chart and let's speak about in your respective areas. How do you see this creating meta skill benefit? I know there are more than, 20 benefits that you guys can think of, but I want us to list them down in the same way. So each one as you come up, you'll just take a different color marker, and then you'll place it on the board. Thank you. I'm seeing all these ideas, and yes, those are the benefits which are possibly possible that the idea that you brought up might assist the admin space and the MI space and the call center. Absolutely, absolutely. So I want us to look at the challenges, and yeah, as you go down on the next page, you will see the challenges that at times make it difficult to practice this. And I want you guys to take note because these challenges are something that are very common within your areas. And let's see how can we deal those. And I'll take two different people to take the bug and the capsule. Let's read. As you come up, let's write down. Yes. And I love how you put the fifth and sixth, the third and fourth one, where you speak about open your thinking process up, check ideas, and challenge yourself to only go as far as the minimum viable idea before putting it to the test in the real world. So it is important that you are realistic in all that you do. Be realistic. Yes, we love ideas, but we can't break, what we have. But let's have it and eat it in smaller chunks in order to accomplish, eating that whole elephant. Any questions? Any comments? And finally, before the day is over, let's get into our sixth meta skill, which is the skill of collaborating. Are you guys ready for the sixth one? Is everything making sense so far as we go into the last one? I'm glad that you guys are also enjoying this because it's important that these learnings and these practices it must somehow be saved in your medulla because these applications will assist you as we go into having these conversations. And how do you apply these meta skills in your daily conversations with either your line manager or your officers, or coming together with your peers? So, ready? Let's shoot.